Hi, I'm Trevor Lee. I'm the founder of Unique Conformity, and I'm here today with Cory Whitehead, who is the Director of Marketing at Christianity Today. And Cory, for the last 8 years, has been working with kids in various capacities in a under-resourced, at-risk area in Aurora, Illinois. And so he's going to share with us some today what he's learned about mentoring. So Cory, I'd ask you first, if you could tell me about a time or two when you've seen mentoring really make a difference.
When I started mentoring, at first it was sort of, it easily fell into doing stuff with them that was just fun for them. And I soon found that if I really wanted to make a difference, I had to take them through steps of discipleship too. And so we occasionally do service projects together. And one that we've done a few times, is something called Feed My Starving Children, where you can go to this packing location and pack foods to be shipped to under-resourced kids overseas in like orphanages, and just taking them there and helping them to see kids who are considered poor here or under-resourced, helping them see that there are kids worse off, there's people worse off than them, and being able to have those conversations together has been really really inspiring. And that's like one of the things that over and over they ask to do again, is just those kind of service things together. So that's been great. We often just go out to eat, and knowing that that's a place that some of them don't have kind of a family unit where they sit together and eat.
Yeah.
And so we have a meal together and they ask questions about Christianity and God. And a recent conversation, they asked about baptism and communion, and
wow.
Just getting into salvation things has been really great, really exciting.
So that time you've spent with them, you've really been able to hit on a lot of different pieces when we talk about discipleship, with it being the way you live, but those questions about salvation and God. Sounds like you've had the chance to get to interact on a lot of those levels.
Yeah, and just making it a very open so that they know they can ask me any questions at any point. And a lot of the questions they ask me tend to be about faith and God, and so that's
okay.
great.
Are there any things that you've gotten to do with the kids you're mentoring that you remember as sticking out as being really funny or fun?
Yeah, so when we talk about things that have been funny, they're very interested in trying to set me up with someone, so
nice.
They're always asking me questions about that. Or recently I took one of them shopping, and we stopped for a drink before we left, and they I like walked around the corner, and the other one went and talked to the cashier and tried to get her number for me. And I came around the corner and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was like kind of caught in the act. So uncomfortable for me, but it was funny, and that they are interested in trying to set me up.
So you're helping them and they're helping you in
right.
return. Nice. I know that even no matter how much time you invest in somebody, whether it's a kid or somebody else, things will not always turn out the way that you hope they will.
Right.
Have you had any experiences with kids you've mentored where something bad has happened, or they've taken a wrong direction, and how's that affected you, or how have you handled that?
Yeah. I don't want to sit and say that mentoring is easy and all great, and in fact, the last month has actually been quite hard for me, probably one of the hardest I've had. A few things have happened, which I mentored a young boy several years ago, and we kind of lost touch as his family moved, and I found out kind of through the grapevine that he was arrested for robbery. So just kind of knowing that you put in those couple years with him and that happened, but also kind of questioning what if I would have kept it up. Another example is I have some kids that I work with that actually were just evicted from their house. So just when you're working with under-resourced, there's those things that come up, and sometimes you're put in a situation where you have to maybe even try to figure out ways to help them or connect them with the right places to help them kind of get back on their feet. So
how have you seen that passion or that activity that you've done, how has it affected your discipleship as you seek to follow Christ?
I feel like God kind of showed me that this is where I'm to serve. And so for several years I have been passionate about the under-resourced, specifically here in my neighborhood in Aurora. And it's kind of like you jump in a little bit, and God teaches you things by you following Him, but then as you're kind of in the water, He has you take a next step. And so over the years, I feel called and led to take different steps kind of further along in this process. That just seems like the most important thing we can do as Christians is not just do those one-time things, but actually develop relationships with people. And so over the years, I've been able to do that and mentoring is kind of how I do that, I guess.